Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular council meeting for the City of Dauphin for April 11th, 2022. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation. And we affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting agenda be amended as follows. The additions 8A, that's the agreement for consulting services from Urban Systems Limited, and 9E, letter of support, Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal Corporation's Reaching Home funding application. Any questions or comments there? Call those. All in favor? Motion carried. And moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that council accepts the regular council meeting agenda as amended. All in favor? And motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meeting, that meeting from March 28th, 2022. That's for the regular council meeting that night. Any questions or comments regarding those minutes? Call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that council now adjourns to hear the public hearing as scheduled. All in favor there? Motion carried. Public hearing participants, this is item 4A1, rezoning application for 218 Buchanan Avenue West. Registered for in-person attendance, we have John Uri, owner and applicant, and Jerry Wheeler, also owner and applicant. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming tonight. No objections were received. 4A number 2, we will now proceed with the public hearing for rezoning application 12-05-221-600/RZ-22-01/01 for owner and applicant Credence Capital Incorporated, care of John Uri for lots 13 and 14, block 3, plan 420 DLTO. That's 218 Buchanan Avenue West. From residential single family zone to residential multiple family zone to allow for construction of two 2,158 square foot single story threeplex dwelling units on a single zoning site to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw. Who wants to speak first? Jerry, go ahead. Just, yeah, you got her.
Sure. Yeah, awesome. No, we're excited to move forward here, and we think Dauphin still needs a bunch of new housing, and we're going to try to make it, continue to make it affordable, and as long as the construction costs don't go too crazy. Yeah, we really appreciate working with the city and helping to serve a need here for you.
Great. Any questions or comments from council?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, you have all the amenities you said. Is that going to include laundry facilities as well?
Yeah, almost all of our units we do individual laundry facilities for each unit. So yeah, I think we're looking at two bedroom units and one bedroom. That was kind of the maximum that we were looking to probably be able to fit in there. So
okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Stuff. Any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, obviously no one else in support of this application that wants to speak that's here. You're both obviously, unless you'd like to speak. Yeah, just here.
Obviously, you guys have been watching all the stuff going on in Buchanan and Jackson, right? And
for sure.
Yeah, it's been really good. We got a good turnout, and it's almost full. It's going fast. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely a need.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll ask this question anyways. Is there any person present who wishes to speak in objection to this application? And is there anyone else who wishes to make a presentation on this application? So the representation public hearing are now completed. Again, thank you both for coming out. And yeah, that's it. If you, as I'll say to everyone who comes to a council meeting, you can stick around if you want to. Right. Yeah. Thanks very much. Moved by Councillor Eiler, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that council now reconvenes to the regular council meeting. All in favor there? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eiler, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that the public hearing for zoning application 12.05.221600/RZ-22-01/01 for owner and applicant Credence Capital Incorporated, care of John Uri, for lots 13 and 14, Block 3, Plan 420 DLTO, 218 Buchanan Avenue West, from a residential single family zone to residential multiple family zone to allow for the construction of two 2,158 square foot single story threeplex dwelling units on a single zoning site to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw be now concluded. Any other questions or comments? Call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Eilers, whereas due notice was given with respect to rezoning application 12.05.221600/RZ-22-01/01, and whereas no objections were received to said application, and be it resolved that the rezoning application for the owner and applicant Credence Capital Incorporated, care of John Uri, for lots 13 and 14, Block 3, Plan 420 DLTO, that's 218 Buchanan Avenue West, from residential single family zone to residential multiple family zone to allow for the construction of two 2,158 square foot single story threeplex dwelling units on a single zoning site to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw be approved with the following conditions. A minor variance will be required to permit a reduced site lot area for a multiple family zone from a required minimum of 1,116 square meters to 1,051.3 square meters to comply with the bulk requirements of the City of Dauphin's zoning bylaw 04/2015. Number two, a major variance will be required to permit a reduced interior side yard for a multiple family zone from a required minimum of 3.5 meters to 2.44 meters to comply with the bulk requirements of the city's zoning bylaw 04/2015. Number three, a major variance will be required to permit a reduced corner side yard for a multiple family zone from a required minimum of 4.5 meters to 2.26 meters to comply with the bulk requirements of the city's zoning bylaw 04/2015. Number four, a major variance will be required to permit a reduced rear yard from a required minimum of 7.5 meters to 1.5 meters to comply with the bulk requirements of the city's zoning bylaw, again 04/2015. And number five, a minor variance will be required to permit a reduced number of parking stalls for a multiple family zone from a required minimum of 10 stalls to 9 stalls to comply with the bulk requirements of the city's zoning bylaw, again 04/2015. Any questions or comments there? Call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eiler, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stikilo. Or actually, he's not online, so I'm going to switch that out to Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that all items listed under item 5 consent agenda be approved as follows and form part of these minutes. We have a lot of proclamations today. What did I count? 6. So obviously with time constraints and stuff like that, I'm not going to read through them all, but I'm obviously going to mention them all. The first one coming up is Earth Day, and that is April 22nd, 2022. Should remind everyone too, if you want further information on these proclamations, they are posted in City Hall. The second coming up is April 24th to the 30th. That is Invasive Species Awareness Week. The third proclamation this evening, National Day of Mourning, that happens on April 28th. Would you like me to read this one? Sure. Okay. Whereas on April 28th, Canada will observe the National Day of Mourning, which commemorates workers who have been killed, injured, or suffered illness due to workplace hazards and incidents. And whereas in December 1990, Parliament passed the Workers' Mourning Day Act, and April 28th was officially recognized as National Day of Mourning. And whereas since its inception, the observance has spread to over 80 countries around the world, commonly referred to as Workers' Memorial Day. And whereas workers and employees observe this day in various ways, including lighting candles, donning ribbons, wearing black armbands, and observing moments of silence. And whereas the purpose of National Day of Mourning is to remember and honor those lives lost or injured, and to renew the commitment to improve health and safety in the workplace to prevent further deaths, injuries, and diseases from work. And again, now therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do proclaim April 28th, 2022 as a National Day of Mourning. Councillor Eilers, would you like to read this one? It's the Communities in Bloom Week. Well, I can give you the sheet if you want, because it's in big fonts. I know Communities in Bloom's a big thing. So, okay. Oh, just turn your mic on too. You good?
Whereas in Canada, we're fortunate to have a multitude of communities committed to fostering civic pride, environmental responsibility, and beautification. And whereas communities are committed to ensure sustainable development for future generations, and whereas participation in Communities in Bloom builds communities, strengthens volunteer and community development, enhances social interaction, and creates community pride. And whereas the benefits provided by Communities in Bloom may boost an economy, create sustainability, enhance property values, attract new businesses, and increase tourism. And whereas our parks, open spaces, green spaces, and trails ensure sustainability, provide space to enjoy nature, help maintain clean air and water, and preserve plant and animal wildlife. And whereas all community levels, municipalities, residential, commercial, and institutional work together to ensure voluntary sector and private enterprise throughout the country participate in planning, development, and operations of recreation and parks programs, services, and facilities. And whereas Communities in Bloom, see, I even got a horn for that, proclaims the week of May 1st has been designated as Communities in Bloom Week, which will annually recognize and celebrate the benefits derived from Communities in Bloom and countless volunteers and individuals who make our communities a great place to live. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim the week of May 1st, 2022 as Communities in Bloom Week.
Awesome, thank you. Big month too for Communities in Bloom in May. Here in the Community Patty Tree Giveaway is on the 25th, and Chip and Soil Day is the weekend of 28th and 29th. So yeah, lots to look forward to there. The other two proclamations, May 1st to the 7th is Safety and Health Week here in Dauphin, and again, May 2nd to 8th, CMHA's Mental Health Week. So again, all these proclamations will be posted in City Hall if you're looking for further information. Moving on, be it resolved that the following water accounts be added to taxes. There's 4 of them, 214 4th Avenue Northeast and 988 Bond Street. 214 4th Avenue Northeast is $116.14. The owner did not pay the final utility bill, and that's the same with 988 Bond Street. That's for $163.70. On 25 5th Avenue Northeast, $170.27. The owner did not pay the current bill and can't shut off as the curb stop is currently frozen, or probably not frozen anymore, maybe. It's still frozen. Okay, it's been that kind of a winter. And 125 6th Avenue Southeast, 173.12. The owner did not pay the current bill, and same thing, can't shut off the curb stop is frozen. So that totals $622.60, and that is recommended by the Director of Finance and the Utility Clerk. Some filing items. Number one, AMM, Association of Manitoba Municipalities Spring Convention and member advisories for June, the district resolutions, Bill 33 and 34 fact sheets and frequently asked questions, and appeal for assistance from Association of Ukrainian Cities. Number two, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, FCM, Annual Conference and Trade Show, and FCM Connects for March 29th, April 5th, and April the 8th. Number three, Manitoba news releases, families, under that, results of stakeholder engagement on homelessness and connecting Manitobans through 211 Manitoba. Advanced education, skills and immigration, the new Immigration Advisory Council, sport, culture and heritage, community museum project recipients. Under health, new shared health board of directors, the mental health and community wellness, Indigenous residential school healing centers, and lastly, education and early childhood learning, the technology upgrades in Manitoba schools. Number four, municipal relations, update on support for Ukraine and payments in lieu of taxes. Number five, the Canadian National Railways 2022 vegetation program. Number six, Government of Canada letter from Minister of Canadian Heritage. Number seven, House of Commons letters from Member of Parliament Dan Mazer. Number eight, Dauphin and Area Welcoming Communities Coalition, Welcoming and Inclusive Communities Strategy Report for March of this year. And number nine, Manitoba EM Quarterly, Emergency Management in Manitoba for March of 2022. And two more, number 10, Pine Creek First Nation, Treaty 4 territory, is welcomed into the Treaty 2 territory government. And number 11, Prairie Mountain Health, Health Plus newsletter for April of this year. And that all is recommended by the mayor and the city manager. Any questions or comments regarding those items? Go ahead, Councillor Eilers.
I'm glad to see that they're working, the CN is working on their vegetation problem. That's been a real eyesore, especially down our main avenues where it's always a lot of large infestation of weeds, and it takes away from the appearance of the community. So I'm glad that they have finally put in some kind of policy. We've lobbied through Communities in Bloom a number of years. I'm going to say at least 15 years. So that's good to see.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Bellemare?
I'd just like to support what Councillor Eilers said, because I know we've dealt with CN a lot in the past. And, you know, the documentation that they provided was really good, and fingers crossed that this is going to be a new year. So great to see. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Stikilo, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following corporate report for the April 11th, 2022 regular Council meeting, and that of the City Manager. Take it away, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been a couple of weeks since our last meeting. A few things to update Council on. As of writing of my memo, I was waiting for the lawyer to provide a draft municipal development and services agreement for our addition to reserve process with Pine Creek and Ebb and Flow First Nations. I did receive that very late on Friday, and we will be reviewing it tomorrow ahead of our meeting scheduled with them on Thursday. However, due to the storm coming, I'm not sure if the meeting will still take place or if we'll do it remotely, but we'll be prepared for it just in case. I also attended some training, and it was on Manitoba's acts, regulations, and construction codes. So on April 6th, I attended a full-day training course at the fire hall regarding, and I put it in quotes here because there really wasn't a title to the course, but it was things a CAO should know about the building code and the fire code as they pertain to municipalities. I'm sure that they'll come up with a catchier title on that. It was a pilot project training. that was hosted by Manitoba Municipal Administrators Association and administered by Ideal Life Safety Solutions from right here in Dauphin. We learned about legislation in place regarding the building code and the fire code and the responsibility of a municipality to deal with those. We reviewed our obligations under the Municipal Act and discussed how the Manitoba Building Officials Association, or MBOA, can help municipalities with training about and assistance with these obligations. Us as students, we provided extensive feedback on the training to help MMAA determine if the course would be valuable to add to their training opportunities. For the City of Dauphin, having an extremely capable building inspector and fire chief who both ensure that the municipality adheres to all legislation, the course was good information for me. However, for smaller municipalities who may not be able to have their own building inspector or a full-time fire chief, a lot of the responsibilities will fall to the CAO position. So there was a lot of people taking a lot of notes at that training. Something that is I guess quite small in my report, but it took a lot of time and I'm still working on it, is that I've been working with the Director of Finance regarding the 2022 budget. And I want to thank him and our senior management and their staff for working so hard to create this budget. Scott and I were both here on the weekend working on it, and I've got a little bit more to finish up so that I can provide council with all the information tonight, or I guess hand delivered to tomorrow morning to you for a review. And as a reminder, our public hearing for the 2022 financial plan will be on May 2nd. And last, I enjoyed co-hosting the 2022 Dauphin Fire Department Firefighter Appreciation Night with Nicole Chakota, the CAO of the Arm of Dauphin, and that was on Wednesday, April 6th. So councils from the City of Dauphin and the Arm of Dauphin had the opportunity to show appreciation for our firefighters by offering words of gratitude and sharing a meal with them. We also enjoyed some trivia, thanks to Fire Chief Cam, and that helped us to get to know our firefighters better. Thanks to staff for coordinating the evening, and thanks to Irving's Catering for the meal, and thanks to the councils of the city and the Arm of Dauphin for supporting our fire department. And there were some awards given out that night. 5 years of meritorious service was for Devin Polipchik, Fabian Carrier, and Mark Bass. 15 years of meritorious service was for Raymond Lofgren. The NFPA 001 Firefighter Certificate, Dan McKay, Brendan Greening, and Chris Davidson. Governor General's Fire Service Exemplary Service Medal for 20 years of service to the public safety, our very own Fire Chief, Cam Abry. And Firefighter of the Year was Ryan Murray. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments regarding the city manager's report? Councillor Bellemare.
My friend's son in Winnipeg just got a notice because he didn't have a stair railing on his front step. Is that a building code thing, or is that a bylaw for municipality?
From my understanding, it's building code because anything 2 feet or higher needs to have a railing. And I'm not sure about the stairs, if the stairs leading up to it, up to the deck or the platform was more than 2 feet. But that is adopted through the zoning bylaw and the building code bylaw that a municipality would have. So it's kind of both, yes.
Okay. And for the building code, I would imagine that they review it from time to time. Do we know which building code we're now using, like when the last time was that it was revised?
Yeah, so right now Manitoba is still using the 2010 National Building Code. So there's a national building code that's for all provinces in Canada, and then each province adopts the national building code and usually adds some things that are unique to the province or things that they want to see at a higher standard or higher quality. So the Manitoba has still adopted the 2010 building code. The 2015 national building code is out, and Manitoba has not yet adopted it. And the 2020 building code is also out, and Manitoba has not adopted it. So I have spoken to our building inspector about it, and he's quite frustrated that the province hasn't kept up with the national building code, but we're expecting at some point we will see an iteration, and we will be adhering to something more current.
Might that be a resolution for AMM? Just putting that on the side burner.
It could be. It could be. I'll make a note of that.
Okay. Thank
Any
you.
other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that the finance accounts have been examined by council and be hereby authorized and approved as follows. Check totals 29503 to 29579. That's 77 checks totaling $208,685.59. No voided checks in the current range, no voided checks in past ranges. There were 4 electronic payments for March of 2022. Totaling $157,956.19. Any questions or comments regarding those numbers? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following engineering report for the April 11th regular council meeting for the Director of Public Works and Operations. Any questions or comments regarding that report? Okay, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stikilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following engineering staff report for the April 11th regular council meeting, that of the building inspector for March. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, we'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following protective services report for the April 11th regular council meeting for bylaw enforcement in March. Any questions or comments there? Councillor Bellemare, your mic turned on. Does that mean you have a question? Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
just wanted to comment. I think it's amazing how many people contact the bylaw officer or send complaints his way. So this guy's pretty busy doing all of that. So it's just an observation. Good to see that people think that they can call and get the information that they want and get some follow-up. So I think that's a really good service.
For sure. Any other comments? Questions? Seeing none, I'll call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stikilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following protective services report for the April 11th regular council meeting. That's of the Animal Control Officer for March. Any comments or questions there? Seeing none, I'll call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Whereas at their regular meeting of March 28th, 2022, council approved the awarding of the RFP for the creation of a City of Dauphin development plan to Urban Systems Limited for a cost of $75,785 plus applicable taxes. So be it resolved that council accepts as information an agreement for consulting services between the City of Dauphin and Urban Systems Limited for the creation of a development plan and authorizes the agreement to be signed and sealed by the city manager on behalf of the City of Dauphin. Any questions or comments regarding that? Seeing none, I'll call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that council accepts as information a memorandum dated April 7th, 2022. I'm going to pause for a sec. From the building inspector regarding a proposal to subdivide part NW Northwest Quarter Section 3-25-19 WPM-SP Lot 2 Plan 297 DLTO. That's part of 100 Cruz Crescent for owner St. George's Ukrainian Orthodox Seniors Resident, care of Gerald Titishin, and applicant Balkan and Kolchicki Surveys, care of Greg Molnar, Community Planning Services, file 4411-21-7662, application 21025. And noting that the proposed subdivision meets the applicable policies of the City of Dauphin Development Plan and zoning bylaw. And further be it resolved that council approves the subdivision application for the property as described above. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that council accepts this information, a memorandum dated April 5th, 2022 from the building inspector regarding a proposal to subdivide parts southwest quarter section 14-25-19 WPM Lot 3, Plan 51506 DLTO, that's 212 Hawthorne Avenue, for owner Dean Zimmer and applicant Balkan and Kolchicki Surveys, care of Greg Molnar, Community Planning Services, file 4411-22-7675, application 21244. Further be it resolved that council approves the subdivision application for the property as described above with the following conditions. Number one, City of Dauphin condition with respect to the conditional use to allow the construction of a two-family dwelling in a residential single-family zone has been met and was approved by council at their regular council meeting of November 15th, 2021 via resolution 2021-640. Number two, variances shall be obtained where applicable for any residential two-family bulk table setback requirements to comply with City of Dauphin zoning bylaw 04/2015. Number three, the cost of the new service connection and extension shall be the responsibility of the property owner. And number four, lot surface drainage cannot adversely affect the adjacent property. It is recommended that it be done in consultation with the City of Dauphin and in cooperation with adjacent property owners. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stikilo. Be it resolved that council accepts this information, a memorandum dated April 8th, 2022 from the Director of Public Works and Operations and correspondence dated March 25th, 2022 from Tim Coffin, Executive Director, Trails Manitoba, advising that the City of Dauphin has been awarded a grant of up to $75,000 to assist with the development of the Assiniboine Community College Trail as part of the city's network of active transportation routes. Further be it resolved that council authorizes the project contribution agreement with Trails Manitoba to be signed and sealed by the city manager on behalf of the City of Dauphin. Any questions or comments regarding that? Good news. Councillor Juba, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to comment. I think this will be an excellent addition to the active transportation. We have students at Assiniboine Community College that will make good use of this, and it will be a great addition to our walking trail system. So, good work to the committee for that selection.
Yeah, thank you. We're definitely looking forward to that piece for sure. And yeah, any other questions or comments? See those? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated April 6, 2022 from Lori Bremner, Finance Officer, on behalf of Vern Richardson, President of the Dauphin and District Handyman Association, requesting financial support from the City of Dauphin in the amount of $5,200 to assist with the licensing of their fleet of 4 vehicles and $5,000 for rent assistance for a total grant request of $10,200. Further be it resolved that council forwards the funding request from Dauphin and District Handyvan Association Incorporated to the City of Dauphin's 2022 budget deliberations for consideration. Any questions or comments regarding that? Seeing none, I'll call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated April 5th, 2022 from Amanda Novak, Executive Director, Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal Corporation, requesting financial support from the City of Dauphin in the amount of $25,000 to assist with costs for utilities, insurance, building maintenance, and taxes to enable DNRC to expand under one roof programming to address critical gaps in social services in Dauphin. Further be it resolved that council forwards the funding request from Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal Corporation to the City of Dauphin's 2022 budget deliberations for consideration. Any comments there? Call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated February 28th, 2022 from Julie Kanicki, Chairperson, Crisis Prevention Task Force Incorporated, requesting financial support from the City of Dauphin in the amount of $5,000 to assist with the Under One Roof programming and services for vulnerable and under-resourced citizens in Dauphin. Further be it resolved that council forwards this funding request to budget deliberations for consideration. Any questions or comments there? Call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated April 7th, 2022 from Lori Bickelmeyer, Coordinator, Dauphin At-Risk Teen and Restart Programs, requesting financial support from the City of Dauphin in the amount of $10,000 to assist with the provision of services for high-risk youth and their families in Dauphin and the surrounding area. Further be it resolved that council forwards the funding request from the Dauphin At-Risk Teen Program to the City of Dauphin's 2022 budget deliberations for consideration. Any comments or questions? Call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council accepts this information correspondence from Amanda Novak, Executive Director of Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal Corporation, requesting a letter supporting DNRC's application to Brandon Neighborhood Renewal Corporation's Reaching Home Grant, that program for funding to assist with the creation of emergency shelter pods in Dauphin. Further be it resolved that council commends Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal Corporation for their efforts to address emergency housing needs in Dauphin and approves a letter supporting DNRC's application to Brandon Neighborhood Renewal Corporation's Reaching Home Grant program. Questions or comments there? No? Call the questions then. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that Bylaw 01/2022, being a bylaw to amend City of Dauphin zoning bylaw 04/2015, regulating the use and development of land, 2018 Buchanan Avenue West, RSF to RMF, be now read a second time. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Juba. And be it resolved that bylaw 01/2022, being a bylaw to amend City of Dauphin zoning bylaw 04/2015, regulating the use and development of land, 218 Buchanan Avenue West, RSF to RMF, be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and city manager. This is recorded. So, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good news. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stakilo. Be it resolved that bylaw 02/2022, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to establish rules and procedures for the use of municipal resources during the 42-day period before a general election or by-election be now read a second time. All in favor? And motion carried. And moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stakilo. Be it resolved that bylaw 02/2022, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to establish rules and procedures for the use of municipal resources during the 42-day period before a general election or by-election, be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and city manager. Same thing, this is a recorded vote, so all in favor? And again, 4-0. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that bylaw 03/2022, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin authorizing campaign expenses and contributions at a municipal election, be now read a second time. All in favor there? Motion carried. And moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that bylaw 03/2022, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin authorizing campaign expenses and contributions at a municipal election, be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager. Same thing, recorded vote. All in favor? 4-0 again. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that bylaw 04/2022, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to provide an administrative penalty scheme for parking and general bylaw enforcement, be now read a second time. All in favor? Motion carried. And moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stakilo. Be it resolved that bylaw 04/2022, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to provide an administrative penalty scheme for parking and general bylaw enforcement, be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager. Same thing, recorded vote. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved, the council accepts as information the invitations listed below. Number 1, Association of Manitoba Municipalities Women in Municipal Government Breakfast happening on April 21st. And number 2, Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, July 29th and 30th of 2022. And that's it. Any questions or comments there? Call those. All in favor? Motion carried. Okay, on to councillor privileges. And we will start online this time. Councillor Bellemare, if you're ready to go. Oh, your mic's not on.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
April 6th, I attended the Dauphin and Area Community Coalition meeting. And now that we have our strategic planning document complete, we are working on dividing up work on specific projects that will meet the goals of that strategic plan. And those 3 goals are social inclusion, building support services and system capacity, and improving labor market outcomes. And the first group, the social inclusion group, already has a plan for fall, so watch information coming out on that initiative. On April the 7th, I attended the RM liaison meeting, and while we started this committee to discuss recreation funding, we soon realized we have many issues in common and that working together makes so much sense. So recent topics we talked about included the airport, the business park on the west side of town, and a columbarium for the cemetery. We referenced already about the snowstorm coming up. So just a reminder for people, get enough food, enough medication, gas up your vehicles, get out your candles and matches, be prepared for that event. And I'd like to congratulate our local firefighters who were honored on Wednesday for the hugely important work they do for our community. Special awards were given out for firefighters who met certain levels of training and certain years of service. The Firefighter of the Year went to Ryan Murray, who went above and beyond this past year. And a note to community members who think they may be interested in being a firefighter, drop by the fire hall and speak to Chief Cam Avery. He runs a top-notch organization with lots of training and support in a family-like organization, and he would be very happy to see you. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. Deputy Mayor Stikilo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For myself, March 28th, regular council meeting. April 4th, strategic planning and priorities meeting. April 5th, I was able to attend my first active living and transportation committee meeting. And just from attending that first meeting, I can really appreciate all the hard work that the committee has done thus far. As we've seen tonight, getting another grant for additional trails in the community. That's fantastic. And the discussion around the table about the long-term plans was fantastic, and things look very bright for active transportation in our community, and it's fantastic. On April 8th, I had to attend the AMM City Caucus meeting virtually on behalf of Mayor Lachlan. The focus of the meeting was on public safety, as this is always a top priority for all of Manitoba communities. The new ADM for Manitoba Justice, Michael Kopang, was on hand to answer some questions from the group, as well as touch on the department's direction on existing issues and on how they'll deal with arising issues and concerns going forward. It was with regret that I was unable to attend the Firefighters Appreciation Dinner on Wednesday, April 6th due to illness. However, I'd like to extend my appreciation and gratitude for all the hard work and the steadfast determination of our members of our fire department. And additionally, I'd just like to congratulate all the firefighters that were recognized that evening. It's fantastic work that's being done over there, and truly an asset to our community. So thank you very much. And with that, that ends my report.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Stikilo. We'll move to Councillor Eilers.
Thank you. March 28th, City Council meeting, April 4th, Planning and Priority meeting, April 5th, Communities in Bloom budget meeting, and April 6th, I was fortunate enough to attend the Dauphin Fire Department Appreciation Dinner and brought greetings on behalf of City Council with Councillor Juba, and also the recognition for all the following firefighters that were mentioned before. There was the 5 years, which was Devin Pelipchuk and Fabian Carrier and Mark, and then 15 years for Ray Lofgren. He did a lot of photography, and he also won award-winning photos for some of the pictures that he took. So congratulations. And of course, the 20-year Governor General for Exemplary Service Award to Chief Cam Avery. And as mentioned before, the Firefighter of the Year, Ryan Murphy. He managed to save somebody's life twice, same gentleman too. And thanks to the families and the business who support these individuals to carry on the duties of the fire department. And as I mentioned before, everybody runs away from the fire, and these gentlemen and ladies run towards the fire. So congrats to them. And as mentioned before, reminders, the tree giveaway is on May the 25th from 8 to 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Chip and Soil on May the 28th, 9 a.m. to noon. And I want to offer condolences to Adam Safronik's family and friends on his passing. He was the head of the Department of Highways in Dauphin for many years. He volunteered for many organizations, and he was an avid gardener. And him and I had many interesting conversations about timing and watering of vegetables. He said a few things because he used to really baby his garden, and I would come and do kind of a flash thing. So he he was always envious of the vegetables that were produced. So, and also condolences to Don Fletcher from McCreary, and he to his family and friends. He was very involved in the ag societies in Manitoba. Probably some of you who go to the fair regularly. He and his wife used to do a lot with many of the horse events we had, plus a lot of the other competitions, and they were very knowledgeable. If you went to see them when they were announcing, you'd learn a lot about horsemanship and also about other animals at the fair. And also condolences to James Bray family. He was involved in many ag programs, including the environment farm plans. He was very, very keen on making sure that everybody had environmental farm plans. And as mentioned before, Earth Day, April 22nd. So shut off your lights for even an hour, or plant a tree, or do both. Maybe that might not be the season to plant them because it's still cold, but that's what you can think about. And happy Easter to everyone. And as mentioned before, please stay safe and please take extra care with the snowstorm moving in on Wednesday. And that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Eilers. Councillor Juba.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the City Council meeting on March 28th, April 4th. I was here for the Strategic Planning and Priorities meeting. April the 5th, I attended the Dauphin and District Handy Van regular board meeting. At that meeting, it was announced that Vern Richardson is stepping down as president of the Handy Van, and a new president will be elected at the May 24th AGM. And it's going to be at PRVSI. There will be advertisements in the paper and in the media for that upcoming event. So if there's anybody out in the community that wishes to be part of the Handy Van board, please attend that meeting, and also just follow the media advertisings for the time for that meeting. I believe it's 6:30, but I'm not certain on that. April the 6th, I attended the Firefighters Appreciation Supper. I'm not going to list all the people that won the awards. They were all mentioned numerous times during this meeting, so congratulations to them all. And I just want to, as I mentioned at the supper, I want to thank all the firefighters and their families for all their sacrifices to keep our community safe and a great place to live. I also shared the podium with Councillor Eilers, and I also wanted to thank the firefighters for delivering community spirit during COVID. They escorted Santa a few times, and they also made deliveries during their for their firefighter banquet evenings in lieu of having public events. So kudos to the fire department and all their volunteers for providing community support during COVID. March 31st, I attended these are community events. I attended the roles and responsibilities for the board presented by Jackie Hunt from Volunteer Manitoba. This meeting was held under one roof, and there was a number of people in attendance. And I've been on a few boards over the years and stuff like that, and there's nothing like having a refresher course. And there was lots of good information, and it was really well put together. So thank you to Amanda and her staff at the Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal for hosting that event. April the 8th, I had an opportunity to go to the Dauphin Kings and Swan River Stampeders hockey game. It was a great crowd. Good to see many people out for that event. The only person I was annoyed with was the person on the horn. He was a little bit loud, but that's okay. We pushed the Stampeders out of the playoffs last night, so on to the next round. As the chair of the Ukrainian Fund support team, I can report that we have several meetings. The work behind the scenes is a process, and at the appropriate time, there will be a report from this committee to the community. At this point, we can offer our thank you to administration here at City Hall, Mayor and Council, for your support by allowing the community, or the committee rather, to use City Hall and support staff to assist us in our work. It is greatly appreciated by us and by Dawn Tarrant, the general manager of this community fund. Also, I want to thank Don Mazur, our member of Parliament. Last Friday, he had mentioned the Ukrainian Fund in his members' comments in the House of Commons, and it was great to hear from him about all the other people in the whole constituency doing great work to support the Ukrainian Parkland Ukrainian Fund and other volunteer events in support of Ukraine. I also want to wish condolences to the family of Adam Safronitz. Adam was a brother knight. I worked closely with Adam for many years, working to put the Knights of Columbus Christmas Parade together. We had lots of fun working together, and Adam was a very quiet person, but when it came time to get his work done, he was very focused, and he was really a driving force behind the parade. Adam was a kind person, and he will be missed by many, his family, of course, and his many friends, and his Knights of Columbus family. I also want to wish everybody a happy Easter, and yeah, stay safe this weekend. It's going to be a real big storm, and stay safe out there. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Juba. And lastly, our Youth Council member, Catherine Kowalchuk. What's happening at the high school these days?
Thank you. Definitely not a lot. We just got our grad pictures back, and report cards are coming out soon, so everyone's trying to get everything handed in. Definitely flying by, though. It's hard to believe it's already April, so kind of scary, but exciting at the same time. And yes, I apologize. I was not at the last meeting, was not feeling too great, so thought probably best just to stay home and get better. And yes, that concludes everything for me.
Well, thank you very much. And I'll wrap things up here with myself. On March 28th, regular council meeting I attended here at City Hall. On the 30th, Dauphin Rec Services meeting at the Rec Complex for a couple hours. On April the 4th, Strategic Planning and Priorities meeting here at City Hall. On the 5th, a day later, the Active Transportation meeting we had here at City Hall. Lots to look forward to, as mentioned there, coming up in 2022. April 6th, I couldn't attend the Dauphin Fire Department's Appreciation Night, but I do want to thank Councillor Juba and Councillor Eilers for speaking on my behalf and on council's behalf, and as well as the city manager, I believe, spoke there too. And also congrats to the Firefighter of the Year, Mr. Ryan Murray. April 7th, I attended the RM Liaison meeting virtually from home. April the 8th, I missed the AMM Cities Caucus meeting, as mentioned, but again, I do want to thank Deputy Mayor Shtakailo for filling in for me there, along with the city manager. They were both in attendance. I'm looking forward to the spring convention for the Association of Manitoba Municipalities. It's coming up next week. Congratulations to the Dauphin Kings winning their series over the Swan Valley Stampeders last night. They now take on the Winkler Flyers starting this weekend, hopefully starting this weekend. Segue into obviously the storm that's coming. Obviously stay warm, stay safe. Get what you need over the next few days. I just want to also say, please be patient with the city crews, as I'm sure a lot of hard work is ahead of them when it comes to the roads and sidewalks in our community. And lastly, happy Easter. Enjoy the weekend with your friends and family. Hopefully everything will be somewhat melted by the time that rolls around, but nonetheless, happy Easter and have a great weekend. And with that being said, moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Bellemare, be it resolved that the council meeting be recessed at 6 o'clock, just in time for puck drop.